My name is Paddy Meskell and I'm chairman of the Board of Solas Nua. Solas Nua in English means new light, and we are an Irish arts organisation based here in Washington D.C. And our mission as an organisation is to introduce and present to American and Washington D.C. audiences the best of contemporary Irish art and artistic talent across all the disciplines, but especially film, because in addition to the Capital Irish Film Festival, we also run an Irish popcorn series every month so we run 12 or 13 films during the year.
Okay. Now, I guess the first question is this is the film festival, so how do you narrow down the field from everything that Ireland produces to the 4 days that we have here?
Right, thank you. We attend film festivals in Ireland, and particularly the film festivals in Cork and Galway and Dublin. But we have a network of people around Ireland who we trust and whose opinion on films we trust. And then we also ask for submissions. And this year we got something like 120 or 130 submissions of various types of films. And then we have a group of volunteers here who are screeners. And then they take it and we issue them films and we issue them guidelines on how to screen the films and, things to look for, etc., etc. And then based on the observations and on the critiques of the screeners, we then narrow it down to a number of films, shorts, documentaries, docudramas, animation that will fit into a 4-day festival. We try to focus on new films. So for instance, most of the films you saw at this year's festival were made in late 2013, 2014. Okay. So they're very new films, and most, if maybe all of them, except one maybe has never been seen in Washington before, and many of them not seen on the West Coast, on the East Coast before.
Which one was that?
I think Frank was seen here I think with maybe some private screening or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, speaking of Frank, you spoke about the great emotional connection that you had to that film. First of all, that was really beautiful to see someone have such a great connection to that for such a deep reason.
Thank you.
But first, could you for the podcast say that connection, also say how incredibly excited you were and how it felt to hear that Frank was going to be shown here?
Yes. I have a nephew back in Ireland whose name is Peter, who is severely autistic. In my journeys back to Ireland each summer, I have developed a very, very close relationship with him. We get on very well. About 3 months ago, Peter got fixated on this movie, Frank, as people with a certain type of autism get fixated on things. So he got fixated on film and music, but of a very narrow genre. And obviously Frank fit right into that. So people with autism also like to have things planned out in advance, etc. Peter planned out that he was going to go to this movie on this day at this time, and come hell or high water, this was going to happen. And he made it happen. And he was enthralled and still remains enthralled with the film. And he wrote to the theatre manager to thank the theatre manager for making arrangements for him to see it. And a week later, he got a lovely message from Michael Fassbender, who is the star of the film and a wonderful actor, and a signed autograph on T-shirt and poster. And that has made Peter's day. But even at a deeper level, my brother Eamon, who is the father of Peter, said that he has watched the movie 2 or 3 times, and each time he watches the movie, he gets a deeper insight into Peter's world and into the world it's not that they're sick, they're different. Mm-hmm. And he embraces those differences. So it was very emotional for me last night as I saw the character with the head, Frank, make some gestures that I've seen Peter make over the years, and so it had a huge impact on me, and still has.
So you must have been extremely happy when you heard Frank.
So when I heard that we had a chance of getting Frank, I just became like Peter. Come hell or high water, we were going to get Frank to Washington for our film festival, and we did.
That's a great reaction to have.
Yes.
More now in terms of like technical stuff that goes into this.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? How do you go about planning this? How do you go about reserving the Goethe Institute, and then on the first night over on East Street? How do you pick these venues? Right. How much planning goes in? How much time goes into it?
We are Solas Nua is all volunteer organisation. We're a non-profit 501c3, so no one is paid. We all do this because we all are either connected to Ireland in some way, obviously someone directly like myself, or 2 or 3 generations back. And we all are proud of the art and the artistic talent coming out of Ireland, and we have a love of that. And honestly, we want to share it with Washington, and we want to share it in the communities we operate in. So we are already beginning to plan for next year's festival. And we chose East Street Theatre for the opening because it has a lot more seats than the Goethe Institute, about 250, and it has, it's a theatre, etc. And we can have a lovely reception there in the lobby, and they have fantastic facilities, and they help us wonderfully. We chose Goethe because it's a more intimate theatre, and we can fill it and create that atmosphere, and they give us reasonable rates. All this festival is funded by donations. By individuals or by organisations. We're helped by the Irish government, by the Irish Embassy, but mostly it's funded by donations from individuals. And so we are already beginning to plan for next year to screen
big
films.
Number 10.
Yes, big number 10. Big number 10. We will be attending, the various film festivals as we normally do. And now we are building relationships. And even from the directors here, some of them I was talking to over the last few days, they were saying, this is wonderful. Really well organised, great crowds, enthusiastic and knowledgeable audience. They're already talking about wanting to come back, which is just the type of excitement we like.
That's great.
Yeah. There is a new generation of artists in Ireland right now, and coming out of the Celtic Tiger and that, and this whole new generation is maybe not as well known in outside of Ireland. So part of Solas Nua's mission is to nurture that talent, and at the same time enrich the artistic and cultural life of Washington D.C. by enmeshing it in all the other ethnic art and culture that is a glory of the city, and that really makes the life of a big city like this much richer and much more enjoyable.
That is true. Had the Irish ambassador come to any of those other screenings, and if not, what was it like to hear that not only would she be here, but she'd be here for the opening and was going to introduce the entire film festival?
First of all, the Irish Embassy and the staff of the Irish Embassy, since Solas Nua was founded in 2005, have been incredibly helpful, supportive, encouraging in every way. I cannot thank them or compliment them enough. To my knowledge, this is the first one that an ambassador has actually opened.
Wow.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. We were absolutely delighted. Ambassador Anderson is a very busy person, a lot of priorities, a huge long agenda, and for her to devote time to come to the film, introduce it, stay and watch it, and then spend time at the reception afterwards, engaging in conversation with the directors and with the fans of Solas Nua and those films is just remarkable. And honestly, it's a manifestation of her commitment to Irish culture and to enriching kind of and enriching the bonds between Irish American people outside of Ireland. So we were thrilled.
Yes, it was quite an experience to meet her and interview her. It was wonderful. So you said you were planning the 10th one already. Do you know when it will be?
It will. We like February. We used to do it in December, but the weather is too unpredictable, too near Christmas, two other competing things going on. So we like this niche the weekend after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So we see maybe this is the Super Bowl of Irish films here in Washington. So we like the week. So we believe right now it'll be the week after the Super Bowl in 2016. And the interesting thing is, Adam, that next year is the 100th anniversary of 1916.
Yes, it is, yes.
So we haven't decided yet, but we are considering or thinking about a theme for the festival being around proclaiming Ireland and explorations and reflections on 1916 and the 100 years since. So that's the kind of a working theme we have for next year's film festival without it being in stone yet.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. It was a great pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you for being at our festival and showing interest in it, and we appreciated your presence.